Okay, so a little background on the source injury I'm about to assess. The NFL's New York Giants are facing Washington, formerly known as the Redskins, at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. on a Monday night in November of 1985. Alright, as you might have just saw, the New York Giant linebacker Lawrence Taylor accidentally broke the right leg of Washington quarterback Joe Theismann during a sack. Joe Theismann's lower leg bones in his right leg were broken between his ankles and knee. Joe Theismann suffered a direct blow to the lower part of his right leg that drove the tibia backwards. The first obvious sign was the lower part of his right leg snapped and bent backwards. The other signs of the lower leg bones in his right leg were broken between his ankle and knee. Some symptoms include excruciating pain, bruising, and swelling in his right leg. Another symptom is not being able to walk after the injury. With the help of an X-ray, I found that Joe Theismann suffered comminuted fractures to his tibia and fibula in his right leg. I'll need to take this quarterback to the hospital as soon as possible. But even before a gurney can become available, I'll need to stop as much bleeding as I can in his right leg. I'll need splints to the areas above and below the fracture points in the tibia and fibula of Joe's right leg to mobilize it. If I don't mobilize it, it can lead to a disability and discomfort later on in this man's life. I will then need to apply ice packs to reduce the extreme swelling and pain that this man is going through. Knee pads are not involved, but they cannot prevent a broken leg. The least amount of protective equipment was used because this is the 80s. NFL players did not want to be seen as soft. Joe Theismann could have used shin guards, but even with shin guards, it would be hard to prevent the powerful Lawrence Taylor from breaking this man's leg. A gurney was needed to transport Joe in the ambulance that later went on to drive this man to the hospital. And even though Lawrence Taylor primarily caused Theismann's leg to break, the New York Giants, Harry Carson, and Gary Reasons also got on Theismann during the sack, which made the fractures even worse. Let's see right about here. Shin guards might have prevented the injury, but a football player as powerful as Lawrence Taylor would definitely be able to power through the shin guards and break the player's leg.